Season 9 of Marvel Rivals was kinda mid. Yeah, like most of it, the things that we got was like objectively they were pretty good. Like the new team ups, the new abilities, but the rest of the stuff, like it just really isn't that good. Like the experience so far of playing this new season, it's been pretty fun. Like not to get it wrong, but after that, most of the times when you're in rank matches, when you're going up against triple support, you're going up against support ultimates, you're going up against, I don't know, whatever it is that's broken right now, like Venom, Black Panther, all these broken heroes that just are really hard to counter. Well, I don't even say hard to counter. I don't even know what I'm saying, but the experience so far of season 9 was just honestly just so horrible. And the first thing we're gonna address that made it so horrible was the day one patch that they released. I don't know what came over their mind to release a day one patch. Basically just buffing supports, buffing Phoenix, and nerfing Ultron and Iron Man. Like if we really look deeply into why they released this day one patch, and you basically looked at it by they basically upping the energy conversion for support ultimates, it's basically showing you that they're trying to cater this game to supports and to casual players. And honestly, that's basically saying like there's water in the ocean. Like this has been known for so many players, for so many people that play this game, that this game is always going to try to accommodate to support players. And the main reason why they do this, if they don't do it, then support players are just going to quit the game. They're not going to have a good time. They're going to end up having to adapt, which, if you think about it, support players aren't good at adapting. But I'm going to break it down. The first reason, like I said, they can't adapt. And the reason why they can't adapt is because they just want easy stuff to use. They want passive, just simple gameplay that doesn't require too much on their part. If you tell a support player to go Spider-Man and to basically learn how to play Spider-Man, learn on target prioritization, focus on cooldown management, focusing on what to pick, how to play around their abilities, and they will basically just end up struggling so much to the point they will get frustrated and just quit the game. That's what I mean. Like these players they accommodate to, it's for a good reason why they do this. Because if not, they're gonna end up leaving the game. And the second reason we'll give why they pull out this patch note for these players is because, well, I wouldn't just say it's mostly all the players at Marvel Rivals, especially nowadays, is that every player is entitled to the way they want to play this game. And if you play this game, you know exactly what I'm talking about. The DPS one tricks are basically always locking in either Majik, Spider-Man, these one-trick heroes that they just play how they ever want to play. They never switch. They're entitled how they want to play. They don't want to accommodate. They don't want to waste their time playing something they don't want to play. They just lock in whatever they want and they just go. But I'm specifically talking about supports that do this. People that play support. These players, they like their gameplay style the way it is. And when this new season adding these new team ups, these new abilities, that's basically forcing them to adapt. And let's take the adapting part away. Like anything that disturbs their way of playing, what makes it like basically if they have to adapt in order to like play how they want to play, they're quitting. But let's say they're adapting, or the changes they brought, the changes Nettie's brought doesn't make it worse, it makes it better so they can play easier, they wouldn't mind. But since this new way is disturbing their gameplay, now all of a sudden like they feel like their complaints are justified because they can't get their ultimates up in time, they can't heal properly, their sustain and survivability is very low, they're always getting picked off, especially with this new season dealing with the new team ups. The thing about it is that the only reason why this doesn't happen for DPS players out there at all, and why I don't put them in the same group as support players, is because literally all these one-trick heroes, like let's say Captain America, like Spider-Man, all these players are known for adapting. Like there's even a meme I see on TikTok where Spider-Man mains will adapt to anything. Like doesn't matter if they get nerfed, doesn't matter if they don't get skins. Well, I don't know about skins, I think they do get skins. They will keep adapting. Like it doesn't matter what it is. They'll keep insta-locking Spider-Man, they'll keep adapting to broken supports. And I think, and this goes to my third reason why this day one patch really came out, or why I think it came out, is I'm pretty sure they were basically looking close to the day one launch, seeing what players were. I bet they have like some sort of charts or a graph that shows them who's playing this season, who's quitting the season at a certain time frame. And it's basically probably just showing for supports that supports aren't having fun with Jubilee because she got buffed. And most people were complaining that her heals are garbage. Jubilee isn't that good of a support because her heals are low. The thing about why people are saying this is literally because they're not used to playing a support where you need to play in a certain way. You can't just primary fire, instantly heal your tanks like nothing. Like now that they're forced to play in a different way, now all of a sudden like, oh yeah, Jubilee's not viable. saying this happens with White Fox when she came out. Most people think like, yeah, White Fox isn't that good. Like, you can't just heal with her. You can't get consistent, sustaining heals. She's very lackluster. It's like, no, just like, she isn't like your traditional support where like primary fire, instant heal. Like Luna, Invis, and Cloak and Dagger. So yeah, I think NetEase really paid attention to who was quitting the game, who was really suffering. And once they saw their basically primary targets for this game are quitting, they basically had to adjust. And it's basically, if you really think about like, why supports? Why would their ultimates be buffed? Like, why them? Out of all the roles in this game, why would they release a day one patch for the new season? Is to basically accommodate to them. They have to do it. If not, these players are probably going to just straight up just quit the game or not playing as much. And this goes, besides them buffing the thing, like I said, like the main buff was the support ultimate charge. It's basically just bringing us back to like having ultimate support slop all over again. Like, remember every time you play DPS or tank and you basically baited out every cooldown from the enemy support. You basically caught them lacking. They don't have any escape. They don't have a like they can't go invisible. They can't use something to get away. And you basically caught them lacking. The only thing that could save them right there was their ult. And we're seeing this now again in Season 9 where supports are just relying on their ultimates to carry team fights, to save a bad team fight, to basically just win games. Just basically make it impossible for the enemy team to die. Just making it really hard to just play this game and take it serious. And if you're a DPS player, you know this, where like you basically just baited out everything just for them to ult. And it basically just shows us that this game is like, no matter what you do, you're always gonna get done dirty by some support having some broken abilities. And this goes to my other one, is like most people were looking at Luna Snow's team up ability while White Fox, and she basically has like an anti-stun, where like if she gets like stunned, frozen or something like that, I don't know, something that CCs her down really quick, she can just pop her ability and basically be out of it. And this is what I mean, like, why does Luna Snow have such a broken ability that basically stops her from being stunned? Same thing with Cloak and Dagger, her new ice ability where she basically becomes an ice statue and negates all damage. Like, I don't know, like these abilities they're basically releasing them for casual players to have a good time, to not be always dying, to basically always their way of playing is always protected in this community. It's always going to be protected by the devs. And I think really Season 9 really solidified that this game is always going to be, it just really showed us that. You really thought Season 9 was going to be like game changing? No, it just really shows us that this game is always going to have like a place for these casual players to like have these broken abilities that take no skill and get a lot of value. And now I'm going to talk about the rank experience, and I already touched on it a little bit about dealing with triple support, ultimate support slop. Besides dealing with that, the players you meet in this game are basically always still the same way. These players play in an objectively good way, which what I mean by this is like they objectively know what's the best picks, how to kind of pick what to ban, and they know how to objectively play well. They know how to position, they know how to time their ultimates, they know how to position themselves well and all this stuff. But most of the times they end up being toxic because they know these things, if that makes sense. Like, they know the rules, but that doesn't mean that they're going to particularly be good at it. And when you meet these players, like I said, they end up being toxic and they end up just running cheesy setups. Like, if they're not on your team and they're on the enemy team, these players that study the game, but watch their favorite curators tier list, and they basically think they know what they're talking about, they will run the most broken or most meta heavy comp in order to win games. For example, like triple support, just running triple support when you try to tank or you try to DPS and you cancel. Like, let me just hop onto my champion icon, Cloak and Dagger just to win this game and ult for my team. Just, even though there's already 2 supports, I'm gonna add a 3rd one. This is what I mean. People just do this crazy, just no skill, basically just having triple support slop. And people always complain how strong triple support is, and it's for good reason. They have way too much sustain, way too much. It's like, the time to kill when all their abilities are down, they have no ultimates up, it's very little. Like, the window of that is very small. That is why triple support is always going to be strong in this game. Because when you just have a triple support where they have consistent good heals, they know how to play it, it's basically like, it's almost impossible to get eliminations and to actually win games in a fair way. And no one likes to swap simply because you need to do it in order to win the game. Like, imagine you enjoy playing your favorite hero, you don't mind switching between DPS, tank, and support, but then you're forced to play something that you basically don't know how to play, you're uncomfortable with, and then just garbage. Like, it's boring to play. But this is what I mean, that the rank games that you go into, people really support this. People really feel entitled to the way they want to play. If you don't play in the way they like to play, you basically are forcing them to adapt in a certain way. And then when they're faced with that sense of change, they don't like it at all. This goes back like to every ranked game you play where like someone says, "Can we get another healer? Can we get another support?" I'm like, all right, if you want support that bad, how about you go support? No, I don't want to. I don't play support. I don't want to play support this game. That's what I mean. They don't want to accommodate just to win the game. But at the same time, they will only accommodate if it means it's going to win them the game. But they don't want to accommodate if someone's forcing them to play just for the sake of the team. They're only doing it for themselves. And this is kind of like the general consensus of the player base on Marvel Rivals is that everyone's entitled to how they want to play. And most people think they're on the right side. Like supports think like, yeah, I want to play in a certain way, but it's fair and balanced. It's like, no, it's not. They don't know what they're talking about, but they think they know what they're talking about. That's why they feel just in the way they play. Same thing with, but the thing is, I don't really see this with, naturally I do see this with DPS heroes. They're like, can we get off triple DPS? Can we get off? Let me be the only DPS and we go 2 tanks and triple support just to win the game. Like, buddy, like you think I'm just gonna get off a certain hero or just for our chances to go up even higher? And this is what I mean. These players never want to be the ones they don't want to be the ones accommodating, but they're always the first ones to basically give out the callouts to switch. But they would never switch themselves. And they are switching, they're just switching to a new hero, but the same role. And this is like, I mean, like Season 9 is really highlighting the main problems in this game. Besides the balancing, they can just balance however much they want. But support and casual players, which basically are our support players, are always going to be prioritized to not be touched too much. So they're still easy and simple and straightforward. Where everything else is going to be tweaked in certain ways, where it's not, where you basically, it's going to be the opposite for supports.